This is Margin Machine, where we follow the money behind AI. In 2024, the American Society of Travel Advisors reported that the number of registered travel agents in the U.S. dropped below 46,000. In 1995, there were 124,000. That's not a decline. That's an extinction event. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how $12 billion in annual commissions moved from human agents to a handful of AI platforms, and why the company everyone assumes won this war is actually bleeding quietly from the inside. The obvious explanation is that Google and Expedia killed the travel agent. That's wrong. And the real answer is worth a lot more than a history lesson. Welcome back to another Autopsy, where we crack open a dead or dying industry, find the exact wound, and follow the money to whoever's holding the knife. Today's patient, the travel agent. And if you watched our video on stock photo agencies losing $2.4 billion, you already know where this is going. Same pattern. Slower death. Bigger payout for whoever positioned early. The travel agent business model was simple. Airlines, hotels, and cruise lines paid agents a commission, typically 10 to 15%, every time they booked a customer. A good agent running a mid-sized shop could move $2 to $3 million in bookings a year. At 10%, that's $200,000 to $300,000 in gross commission. Real money. Steady money. And then in 1995, the airlines blinked first. Delta capped agent commissions at $50 per domestic ticket. Every other carrier followed within 18 months. That was the first cut. It didn't kill the industry. But it started the clock. And once the clock started, everything that followed was just a matter of timing. Here's where everyone gets this wrong. Most people think Expedia and Kayak killed the travel agent. And yes, online booking platforms gutted the commodity end of the business. Cheap flights, basic hotel rooms, simple itineraries. That stuff moved online fast. But the complex stuff, multi-leg international trips, corporate travel, honeymoons, group bookings, that stayed human for a long time. Longer than you'd expect. In 2019, corporate travel management was still a $1.4 trillion global market. Human managed. Commission driven. Relationship dependent. The real killer wasn't a website. It was the combination of three things hitting simultaneously: AI itinerary builders, natural language booking interfaces, and the pandemic wiping out the client relationships that kept agents alive during the digital transition. COVID didn't just pause travel. It broke the loyalty loop. When people came back to booking in 2022, they didn't go back to their agent. They went to whatever was fastest. And by then, the AI tools were fast enough. That's when the $12 billion started moving. And it didn't go where you'd think. So where did $12 billion in annual agent commissions actually go? Let's follow it. The first bucket, around $4 to $5 billion, went to what I'd call the legacy aggregators. Expedia, Booking Holdings, TripAdvisor. These platforms already had the traffic. They just needed to absorb the volume that fell off the agent channel. And they did. Booking Holdings reported $21.4 billion in revenue in 2024. Up from $17 billion in 2019. That growth is largely displaced agent commission, repackaged as platform margin. But here's the part nobody mentions. Booking Holdings doesn't actually keep most of that. Their take rate on hotel bookings is roughly 15% of the booking value. The hotel keeps the rest. The agent used to take the same cut. So the hotel didn't save money. The money just rerouted, from the agent's pocket to the platform's servers. The second bucket is more interesting. And it's where the AI story actually lives. Would you have taken that deal in 2019, sold your agency and bought Booking Holdings stock instead? Tell me in the comments. Because the numbers are uncomfortable. The second bucket, and this is the one that's still filling, is AI-native travel platforms. This is where the real displacement is happening right now. Startups like Layla, Mindtrip, and Journera are building what they call AI travel agents. Not metaphorically. Literally, a large language model that handles the full booking conversation. You describe a trip in plain English. It builds the itinerary, compares options, books the flight, reserves the hotel, adds activities. The whole thing. In one thread. No hold music. No upsell pressure. No agent commission. Layla reportedly closed a Series A at a valuation around $90 million in 2024. Mindtrip has backing from travel industry veterans who know exactly what they're replacing. And then there's Navan, formerly TripActions, which raised $1.2 billion total and reportedly processed over $10 billion in corporate travel bookings last year. That's the corporate travel market. The $1.4 trillion one I mentioned earlier. The one everyone said was too complex for AI. Apparently not anymore. And that's when it gets weird, because the biggest loser in this story isn't the travel agent. It's a company with a $20 billion market cap that should have seen this coming. Expedia is the cautionary tale inside the cautionary tale. They had the data. They had the brand. They had 30 years of booking history to train a world-class travel AI. And they largely squandered the window. Expedia's stock is down roughly 40% from its 2021 peak. Revenue growth has flatlined. And in their 2024 earnings call, they mentioned AI exactly once in the context of customer service cost reduction. Not as a product. Not as a revenue driver. As a way to fire support staff. Meanwhile, Google has launched AI travel overviews that now appear above Expedia's paid search results. That's the channel Expedia paid billions to own, and Google just built a wall in front of it for free. Here's the number that tells the whole story. Expedia's customer acquisition cost has reportedly risen over 30% in 2 years. They're paying more to reach customers who are increasingly getting their answers from AI before they ever click a result. The moat is draining. And the company best positioned to refill it isn't American. We'll come back to that. The company actually winning this transition is one most American viewers have never booked through. Trip.com Group, formerly Trip, is a Chinese-founded travel platform with a $26 billion market cap and a global footprint that most Western analysts underestimate. They've been building AI-native booking flows since 2020. They have a dedicated AI travel assistant called Trip Genie that handles full natural language trip planning across 200 countries and 1.4 million hotels. And unlike Expedia, they didn't bolt AI onto an existing product. They rebuilt the booking funnel around it. Their international revenue grew 60% year-over-year in 2024. They're the largest online travel agency in Asia and quietly the fastest growing in Europe. The money that left the American travel agent's pocket didn't just go to a Silicon Valley startup. A significant slice of it is landing in Shanghai. And that's before we talk about the third bucket, the one that's smallest today but growing the fastest. AI-powered travel management tools that individuals and small businesses can run themselves, for under $100 a month, doing work that used to require a dedicated corporate travel desk. We follow the money here every week, subscribe so you don't miss the next trail. So here's what the autopsy actually shows. The travel agent industry didn't die because consumers got smarter. It died because the margin structure collapsed, commissions first, then loyalty, then the pandemic finished the job. The $12 billion didn't vanish. It redistributed. Roughly half went to legacy aggregators who are now fighting a rearguard action against AI search. A growing slice is going to AI-native platforms that didn't exist 5 years ago. And the corporate travel market, the last fortress, is cracking open right now, with Navan and Trip.com circling the walls. The travel agent isn't coming back. But the interesting question isn't who replaced them. It's what happens when the AI platforms that replace them start getting undercut by the next layer down, personal AI agents that book travel autonomously, without a platform intermediary at all. That market doesn't exist yet. But the infrastructure for it is being built right now by a company most people associate with something completely different. If you want to know which company that is, and what it means for every booking platform alive today, click the video on your screen right now.